Coi Leray spent months playing the victim, crying about being cheated on while pregnant.
So Coi Leray pretty much, she basically finds out and leaks the fact that Trippie Redd is cheating on her.
But now, leaked DMs and insider whispers paint a whole different picture. She might have been doing the same dirt she threw on Trippie. I've got the full story on how the tables turned. Let's get into it. The tables have turned. Now, before y'all come for me in the comments, let's break this whole situation down because this story has more twists than a damn roller coaster. We're talking about a relationship that's been messier than a food fight in a kindergarten classroom. And trust me, we're about to dive deep into all the drama, all the receipts, and all the he said, she said that's got the hip hop world spinning.
My weight is doing very fine. I'm over 120 pounds for the first time in my life. I've been 114. Oh my God, stop calling me fat.
But let's rewind for a second because this story starts way before the cheating allegations. Coi and Trippie's relationship has been rockier than a mountain trail since day one. These two have been on and off more times than a faulty light switch. And every time they break up, the internet explodes with theories, gossip, and straight up chaos. The most recent chapter of this saga began when Coi announced her pregnancy on January 1st, 2025, posting those baby bump photos with captions about being a rock star mommy and getting ready for 2025. At first, everyone was celebrating. Fans were excited, Trippie was posting supportive content, and it seemed like maybe, just maybe, these two had finally figured their stuff out. The internet was romanticizing their love story, talking about how they were meant to be together, how the baby would bring them closer, all that fairy tale nonsense we love to project onto our favorite celebrities. But then January 22nd hit like a freight train loaded with drama. Coi's Instagram story dropped that bomb about being cheated on, and suddenly everyone's pointing fingers at Trippie Redd. The post said, "Nothing worse than being cheated on. I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy," with a broken heart emoji. And while she didn't name names, the context made it crystal clear who she was talking about. The internet went into overdrive. Team Coi was trending. People were dragging Trippie through the mud, calling him everything but a child of God for allegedly cheating on his pregnant girlfriend. Social media was brutal, with posts calling it sick and saying he was putting her and the baby in jeopardy. Fans were outraged, and rightfully so. Cheating on anyone is foul, but cheating on your pregnant partner? That's next level disrespectful. The sympathy for Coi was real, the anger toward Trippie was palpable, and it seemed like an open and shut case of a man doing his woman dirty during one of the most vulnerable times in her life. But here's where things get interesting, and why we're here today talking about this whole situation. Leaked DMs and social media activity suggest there might be more to this story than meets the eye. Word is circulating that while Coi was busy playing the victim card and garnering all that sympathy from the public, she might have been engaging in some questionable behavior of her own. Now, I'm not saying this is facts. We're dealing with rumors, gossip, and unverified tea here, but the streets are talking, and when the streets talk, we listen.
So Coi Leray with her petite, fine ass exposes.
Oh shit!
I'm leaving.
I done felt my soul leave my body. So Coi Leray pretty much, she basically finds out and leaks the fact that Trippie Redd is cheating on her.
The timing of all this is suspicious as hell. Coi and Trippie had this whole rekindling situation in August 2024 where they were posting cute FaceTime screenshots, doing the whole right person, wrong time narrative, and convincing everyone that they had grown up and were ready to make it work this time. The internet was eating it up. Everybody loves a good comeback story, especially when it involves two attractive young artists who seem to genuinely care about each other. But relationships, especially celebrity relationships, are complicated as hell. When you add social media pressure, career demands, baby mama drama, and the general chaos that comes with being young, rich, and famous, things can spiral out of control faster than you can say Instagram official. The pregnancy announcement in January seemed like the perfect culmination of their reunion, but maybe it was too good to be true. Maybe the pressure of impending parenthood, combined with whatever personal issues they were dealing with individually, created a perfect storm for relationship drama. And now, with these new allegations swirling around, we're looking at a situation where both parties might have been playing games. If the rumors are true, then this whole narrative of Coi being the innocent victim while Trippie was the cheating villain gets flipped completely upside down. Suddenly, we're dealing with a much more complex story where both people might have been stepping out, both people might have been keeping secrets, and both people might have been playing the public for sympathy while doing dirt behind the scenes.
Trippie Redd and Coi was fucking around. I said, I don't want to meet Trippie Redd. My father, you know it's not.
The pregnancy adds another layer of complexity to all this drama. Their daughter Miyoko was born on June 17, 2025, which means all this alleged cheating and relationship drama was happening while Coi was literally growing their child. Whether she was the one cheating, he was the one cheating, or both of them were playing games, the fact remains that their baby was caught in the middle of all this mess. That's the real tragedy here. An innocent child being born into chaos because two adults couldn't keep their stuff together. Recent social media activity suggests they're no longer together, with reports of Trippie being spotted with his ex Alex in August 2025. Alex, by the way, is allegedly the same person Coi accused him of cheating with during her pregnancy. So if that's true, then Trippie basically said, forget what y'all think, and went right back to the woman who supposedly caused all this drama in the first place. That's either incredibly bold or incredibly stupid, maybe both. But here's the thing that's really got people talking. If Coi was also stepping out during this whole situation, then her public victimization campaign takes on a whole different meaning. Was she genuinely hurt by Trippie's alleged infidelity, or was she trying to control the narrative and paint herself as the innocent party while hiding her own transgressions? The court of public opinion was heavily in her favor after those January posts, but if these new rumors have any truth to them, that support might start shifting real quick. This whole situation is about to unravel in ways we can't even imagine. We're talking about two young artists at crucial points in their careers, a newborn baby who needs stability, and a relationship that's been toxic from the jump. Whether these cheating allegations against Coi are true or not, the fact that they're even being discussed shows just how messy this whole situation has become. And honestly, with the way these two operate in the public eye, I wouldn't be surprised if there are more revelations coming that'll make this story even crazier than it already is. Breakups, makeups, and controversies. Now let's take it all the way back to where this mess started, because understanding the history between Coi and Trippie is crucial to understanding why their relationship has been such a disaster from day one. These two didn't just meet and fall into a normal relationship. No, they dove headfirst into a public spectacle that had more drama than a soap opera marathon. Their first connection happened back in 2019, and right from the start, it was messy. Coi was just starting to blow up in the rap game, trying to establish herself as a serious artist, and Trippie was already established with hits and collaborations under his belt. The power dynamic was uneven, the timing was questionable, and the whole thing was destined for chaos.
That was the beginning. Shout out to Milo, because he's the one who, like, he saw me first, for real. But I guess so him and, you know, he's part of Trippie's label or some shit like that or whatever, so Trippie ended up seeing me, he hit me. And at first, you know, I didn't really engage it.
The way their connection started reveals everything you need to know about their problematic dynamic from day one. Coi wasn't even looking for Trippie. She was focused on her career, trying to establish herself as a serious artist in a male-dominated industry. But Trippie saw her through someone else and pursued her despite her initial lack of interest. That persistence would later become possessiveness, and that pursuit would turn into control issues that plagued their entire relationship. From the beginning, their relationship was orchestrated more than organic. This wasn't two people naturally falling for each other. This was an established artist using his platform and connections to get the attention of a rising female artist. The power dynamics were uneven from the start, and those imbalances would create problems that they never properly addressed.
But then it's like, you know, we started engaging, and then, you know, and then we got on tour or whatever, and on tour is where we really, like, clicked. That's where everything, like, happened.
Tour life changes everything. When you're isolated from your normal support systems, spending every day with the same group of people, emotions get amplified and relationships develop at an accelerated pace. What might take months to develop in normal circumstances happens in weeks on the road. That artificial intimacy created a false sense of connection that neither of them were emotionally prepared to handle. But the real drama started when things fell apart, and instead of handling it like mature adults, Trippie decided to air their business in the most public way possible. Their initial breakup in 2019 was messy as hell, with Trippie making a whole song called Leray and putting it on his album, basically using their relationship drama as content for his music.
So for the first time, you have this public relationship with a really high profile person. How is that like?
It's a learning experience for me, you know? I look at it like, at the end of the day, we still human, feel me? And that's just what it is.
Coi's perspective on their public relationship reveals her maturity even at a young age. While Trippie was caught up in the fame and public attention, she was trying to focus on the human connection underneath all the celebrity noise. She wanted to know his favorite food, where they could travel together, what he was like when the cameras weren't rolling. That desire for genuine connection in the midst of manufactured celebrity drama shows a level of emotional intelligence that Trippie clearly lacked. Imagine being a young woman trying to establish yourself in the music industry, and your ex-boyfriend girlfriend, who's more famous and established than you, decides to make a song about your private relationship and all the intimate details of your breakup. The track included lyrics like, "It was love at first sight and misery after 2 months," and other personal details that Coi felt were unfair and exploitative.
I always was the type to just be like, let's really get to know each other outside of the music. You feel me? Because that's really what matters. That's what's genuine. And when you make it all about like media, public, social, like it becomes toxic. Feel me?
This clip reveals the fundamental difference in how they approached their relationship. Coi wanted something real and private, while Trippie was caught up in the public performance of being in a celebrity relationship. When everything becomes content, when every intimate moment becomes a potential Instagram post, it's impossible to build genuine trust and vulnerability. Coi saw this toxicity coming from the beginning, but Trippie was too caught up in the attention to listen. But Trippie's perspective, as expressed through his music and occasional interviews, painted a different picture. His song suggested he felt betrayed, hurt, and frustrated by how things ended. The Leray track wasn't just a breakup song. It was an emotional outpouring that revealed deep pain and disappointment. Lines like "you played me like a dummy" hinted at feelings of being manipulated or misled, though Coi has always disputed his version of events.
At the time when I met Tripp was young. Feel me? He's still young. I'm young. And as an artist in this industry, it's not easy. And as a young artist, especially when you're a star, like that's the difference. Like we two stars, like Trippie's a star. Feel me? I'm a star.
This is where Coi really breaks down the core issue. Two young stars trying to navigate a relationship while dealing with the pressures of fame, career demands, and personal growth. The ego clashes were inevitable. Both of them were used to being the center of attention in their respective circles, and neither had experience sharing that spotlight in a healthy way. When you have two alphas trying to dominate the same space, conflict is guaranteed. The years following their breakup were filled with subtle shade, indirect references in songs, and the kind of petty social media behavior that keeps gossip blogs in business. Coi moved on to date other people, including Toronto rapper Pressa, while Trippie cycled through his own relationships. But there was always this underlying tension, this unresolved energy that suggested their story wasn't over. Fan reactions to their initial breakup were mixed but intense. Some people blamed Coi, saying she was using Trippie for clout and exposure. Others blamed Trippie, accusing him of being immature and handling the breakup poorly. The truth, as always, was probably somewhere in the middle. Two young people who got involved when they weren't emotionally ready and then handled the fallout in the most public, messy way possible.
He's already established, but at the same time, you know, homie's a little scarred based off his whatever past relationships or whatever it is. So it's just, you know, and he loves hard. Like he's a lover, you know? So it's just got to the point where we need to just chill. We need to focus.
Here, Coi shows incredible insight into Trippie's emotional baggage and how it affected their relationship. She acknowledges that he's a passionate person who loves intensely, but she also recognizes that his past trauma and relationship scars made it impossible for him to love in a healthy way. That level of emotional awareness at such a young age is impressive, and it explains why she was able to walk away when things got toxic. What made their situation even more complicated was the power dynamic. Trippie was more established, had more resources, and had a bigger platform to tell his side of the story. When he made that song about their relationship, it reached millions of people and shaped public perception of what happened between them. Coi, who was still building her career and her fan base, didn't have the same reach or influence to counter his narrative effectively. This power imbalance created resentment that would fester for years. Coi felt like she was being portrayed unfairly, like her side of the story wasn't being heard, and like she was being reduced to a footnote in Trippie's career rather than being recognized as an independent artist with her own value and talent. That kind of frustration doesn't just disappear. It builds up over time and affects future interactions.
Seems like whoever he's with is like, all right, hello, Instagram world. This is who I'm with. Y'all follow her. She's now verified and got 1 million followers and everything. It's, hey, like I said, I'll never do that myself, but hey, more power to him.
It works.
This clip reveals Coi's understanding of Trippie's pattern with relationships. He uses his platform to boost his girlfriend's social media presence and public profiles. She's not bitter about it, but she clearly sees it as transactional rather than romantic. This pattern would continue with his other relationships, including his current situation with Alex. It shows that for Trippie, relationships are often more about public performance than private connection. The years between their breakup and reunion were crucial for both their careers. Coi worked hard to establish herself as more than just Trippie Trippie's ex, collaborating with major artists, building her own fan base, and proving she belonged in the industry based on her own merits. Meanwhile, Trippie continued his own career trajectory, dealing with his own relationship drama and personal struggles. Understanding this history helps explain why the recent allegations are so significant. If Coi really was cheating, it adds another layer to an already complicated story. It suggests that maybe both of them have issues with commitment, trust, and handling relationships in the public eye. It raises questions about whether they're genuinely compatible or just addicted to the drama and intensity that comes with their toxic dynamic. Career consequences and co-parenting chaos. Now let's talk about the real consequences of all this drama, because while we've been entertained by the relationship chaos, both Coi and Trippie have careers to protect and a baby to raise. The recent allegations and ongoing drama aren't just affecting their personal lives, they're impacting their professional reputations, their business relationships, and most importantly, their ability to co-parent effectively. Coi's career has been on an upward trajectory, with major accomplishments that should be the focus of media attention. She's earned Grammy nominations, landed on Forbes' 30 Under 30 list, and built a solid fan base of 14 million monthly Spotify listeners. Her 2023 album, Coi, showed artistic growth, and collaborations with artists like David Guetta proved she could cross genres and appeal to mainstream audiences. But instead of celebrating these achievements, much of the conversation around Coi continues to center on her relationship drama with Trippie. That's the harsh reality of being a woman in hip-hop. No matter how talented you are or how hard you work, personal drama can overshadow professional accomplishments. The recent cheating allegations, whether true or false, threaten to derail the positive momentum she's built in her career.
I became so big in a matter of so little time and accomplished so much with no album, just off mixtapes. I done been on every fucking festival stage. I done been in Europe, toured, like I done it, feel me?
The business side of the music industry doesn't play when it comes to controversy. Record labels, brand partnerships, and touring opportunities can all be affected when an artist becomes too associated with personal drama. Coi has worked hard to position herself as a serious artist and businesswoman, but ongoing relationship chaos threatens to overshadow her professional image. Brands want to work with artists who represent stability and positive values, not constant controversy and alleged infidelity. For Trippie, the situation is equally complicated, but in different ways. His recent releases have received mixed reviews, and some critics argue that his personal drama is affecting the quality of his music. When you're constantly dealing with relationship issues, legal problems, and public controversies, it's hard to focus on creative growth and artistic development. His July 2025 arrest and ongoing personal struggles suggest an artist who might be letting outside influences affect his professional trajectory.
And yes, I did say I don't want to meet any guy that's not going to be with my daughter. That's my choice.
The involvement of family members, particularly Coi's father Benzino, adds another layer of complexity to this situation. When Benzino publicly threatened Trippie over the alleged infidelity during Coi's pregnancy, it showed that this drama extends beyond just the two artists involved. Family relationships, extended social circles, and professional networks are all being affected by their personal choices. But the most important factor in all of this is their daughter Miyoko. Born on June 17, 2025, this innocent child is going to grow up with the internet, having documented every detail of her parents' tumultuous relationship. The alleged cheating, the public accusations, the social media drama. It's all there forever, archived and searchable. Co-parenting requires trust, communication, and mutual respect. Three things that seem to be in short supply between Coi and Trippie right now. If the recent allegations are true and both parties have been unfaithful, how do you build the foundation of trust necessary to successfully raise a child together? How do you put aside personal hurt and resentment to focus on what's best for your daughter? The public nature of their relationship makes co-parenting even more challenging. Every interaction, every exchange, every decision about their child becomes potential content for gossip blogs and social media discussions. That's an enormous pressure to put on any relationship, but especially one that's already proven to be unstable and prone to dramatic blow-ups. Recent reports suggest they're no longer together, with Trippie allegedly back with his ex Alex, the same person who was supposedly involved in the original cheating scandal. If that's true, it shows a pattern of poor decision-making that doesn't bode well for stable co-parenting. How do you trust someone to help raise your child when they keep making choices that demonstrate a lack of judgment and consideration for consequences? The financial aspects of co-parenting also become complicated when both parents are celebrities with fluctuating incomes and public images. Child support, custody arrangements, and decisions about the child's privacy and public exposure all become more complex when you're dealing with famous parents who can't seem to stay out of controversy.
How do you feel when fans say that about, your career?
It doesn't really it affects me. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes, but sometimes it don't, because it's like it's been like almost 9 months and I've moved past shit. And
from a career perspective, both artists need to figure out how to separate their personal drama from their professional obligations. Coi has shown more maturity in this regard, generally keeping her focus on her music and business ventures, even when personal chaos erupts. Her recent social media activity has emphasized self-love and independence rather than dwelling on relationship drama. Trippie, on the other hand, seems to struggle more with keeping his personal and professional lives separate. His tendency to address relationship issues through his music and social media posts suggests an artist who hasn't quite figured out how to maintain healthy boundaries between his private life and public persona. The hip-hop industry has seen plenty of examples of former couples who successfully co-parent despite personal differences. Jay-Z and Beyonce worked through their issues, while others like Future and his various baby mamas have found ways to prioritize their children's well-being even when the adult relationships don't work out. But successful co-parenting requires both parties to be willing to put their child's needs above their own egos and personal grievances. Looking forward, both Coi and Trippie need to make some serious decisions about how they want to handle their relationship moving forward. If they can't be together romantically, and all evidence suggests they can't, then they need to find a way to be effective co-parents. That means private conversations instead of public accusations, mature conflict resolution instead of social media drama, and putting their daughter's stability ahead of their own need for validation or revenge. The recent cheating allegations, regardless of who's guilty of what, represent another failure in their pattern of handling conflict maturely. Instead of working things out privately or seeking professional help to navigate their issues, they've once again turned to public drama and social media warfare. That's not just bad for their careers, it's potentially damaging to their child's future well-being. Ultimately, this whole situation serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of conducting relationships in the public eye. When every argument becomes content, every reconciliation becomes a marketing opportunity, and every breakup becomes entertainment for strangers on the internet, it becomes almost impossible to build the kind of trust and intimacy that healthy relationships require. Both Coi and Trippie are young, talented artists with promising careers ahead of them. They're also now parents with a responsibility that extends far beyond their own personal happiness or professional success. The choices they make moving forward about how they handle their relationship, how they co-parent their daughter, and how they manage their public images will determine not just their own futures, but the kind of environment their child grows up in. The streets will keep talking, the gossip will keep flowing, and the drama will probably continue. But at some point, these two need to decide what's more important, feeding the rumor mill or building a stable foundation for their daughter's future. Only time will tell which path they choose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.